Steve Irwin has you pinned down in a headlock. What cool facts does he tell the audience about you and your habitat? Oi. Now looky here. Notice how he seems almost entirely apathetic to my attack. That's because he spends almost every waking moment pretending not to be bothered by the current situation he is in. Despite the fact that he is incredibly irritated. To him, this is just another Monday morning staff meeting. He is truly a gorgeous example of mental endurance. This is hilarious and I wish I couldn't relate to it, haha. Isn't he a beauty? You're alright. Fella. You're alright. This guy is out looking for a Sheila, but he isn't having much luck. He's coming in late to the party. I laughed way harder at that last bit than I probably should have. Crikey. This lil Ranga is quite the sneaky little one. This particular type of animal can hide in a dark room all day and never even see the sunshine. She will do as much as she can to avoid others of her kind. Edit. I don't remember what he called gingers, so I fixed it. Thank you for correcting me, fellow Redditors. Man, are all gingers the same? Cuz. Same. Oi. Be very careful, mates. We have to show dominance. If we show any affection towards this creature, he'll get attached to us and never leave us alone. Truly one of the most terrifying beasts in North America. Oi. This air is a common member of his species. And as you can see, he's got a fairly advanced case of fur loss. Especially concentrated air at the top of his EAD. Many males you find in the wild with this condition will try to compensate by growing the fur around their faces. And this fella is no different. This one looks like he spends his days being poked and nipped at by his wee ones. Note the characteristic paunchy belly and the general lack of muscle tone. This fella can spend up to 12 hours a day grazing. And trying to find a nice spot to curl up for some shut-eye. Edit. Apparently I've accidentally reimagined Steve Irwin as a 19th century Cockney bootblack. But I'm leaving it. This little bug simulates reproduction up to 5 times a day. Almost exclusively without a mate. Then I imagine he would shove a Dorito in my mouth. And chuck me back into my bedroom. Steve. In a barely audible whisper as he gets low to the ground. The U/Squeenus is an endangered fella. Meanin' there aren't many of 'em left. And he most likely won't find a mate. Nah, if you watch air. He's trying to attract a Sheila. 5 minutes of silence as Squeenus stares at his screen. Before typing sub to the OnlyFans girl he's subbed to. Followed by more dead silence. Better luck next time. Little fella. If you see one of these in the wild, it's crucial you give them the space they need. As many of them can be highly poisonous. Oh. He's angry. Calm down, big fella. Ain't gon' hurt cha. Yeah. There we go. See, he likes when I give his noggin scritches like this. Yeah. These guys like to get all big and blustery. Especially in front of a keyboard. They'll be real mean to each other. But they're good folk though. Just gotta let them know ya care about 'em. Everyone acting like Steve ever said something bad about the animals. That's not a thing. Hagrid. Now I know what you're thinking. This here fella looks like an absolute killer. He's big. He's covered in hair. And if he wanted to, he could probably knock ma block off with one swing. The truth is, his kind look far more scary than they really are. Despite their size, they're actually quite timid. And will only attack when threatened and backed into a corner. Truth is, he just wants to find a Sheila he can settle down with and, who knows, maybe have a couple of kids. Sadly, this fella hasn't had much luck lately. He's the last of his line. And it would be cryin' shame if he never got a family of his own. Puts PS2 controller in my hands. Luckily, here at Australia Zoo, we have a state-of-the-art gaming room, where this fella can play the video games of his youth, and relive his days as a juvenile, when life seemed so full of possibilities. Edit. Typed this just before I went to bed thinking I was far too late to the party to get noticed. Thanks for all the upvotes and awards. I hope this made you laugh, and I'm sorry if it makes you sad. If it did, please be kind to yourself. Life has a way of untangling itself. Steve would want you to care for yourself just as much as he'd want you to care for nature. Oi! Look at this S of the hairless variety. Rare and silky smooth to the touch. He actually likes when you rub his head. Look at his leg going. This one right here can put up a fight if you put a bowl Cheetos within the area. Good thing is that this bloke is actually calm because he ate a full bowl of Cheetos. I find it easiest to subdue one of these little fellas by withholding a local treat. Empty. Do. Till it settles down and plays nice. Wow. Get a load of this Sheila. I can imagine this one spending all of her free time sleeping in her lil hidey hole. Only coming out 5 times a week to spend hours at a place where she probably regrets being at in the first place. And she'll do this most weeks of her life all the way up until she dies. This one's pretty big for a female too. Bigger than most average males actually. Don't think that gives her any luck during the mating season. Laughs in Australian. But she'll find a fella who loves every bit of ER. Just you watch. Crikey. This animal lives in a dilapidated bachelor pad and is capable of eating his weight in pudding over a weekend. Edit. Thanks for the gold and the little angel thingy. Audible gasp from the audience. Fascinating. This creature diet consists of almost all caffeinated beverages. And would you give a whiff of the stench coming from his bathroom? It seems this little creature eats so little fiber that its speeps come out as an earthy, putrid gaseous substance. This big guy is quite greasy due to his natural habitat of an engine bay. I believe he is extremely angry due to the loss of all his 10mm sockets. 10mm sockets are a lie propagated by Snap-on marketing department. Crikey. This is the biggest Chinese I've ever seen. At a whopping 6'3" and 210 pounds. This bugger has a nasty habit of eating all his brother's food. Camera pans to my anemic brother. Oi. This fine specimen was a hard one to catch. Now, let's look at her. As you can see, changes make her stressed and anxious, thus more aggressive. If provoked, she'll attack on sight. She has the appetite of a great white. She's an omnivore, but eats meat more willingly. One off thing about her diet is that she loves broccolis. She eats anything that's prepared with them. This lad drinks too much. This creature is an easy one to spot. Always in the same spot on the sofa. Most commonly seen with either Reddit or Animal Crossing. We have an indigenous person to the Americas out of his reconstructed habitat. They were contained to a small portion of land only for this bugger to free himself from such limited space and find himself tangled in debt. She's a little shy, but we got her. Feed her some sugary breads and she'll calm right down even with a temper. Now her primary predator is a spider. Once they see her they go right for her. In response she will aggressively scream at it until another of her species comes by to kill it. This one has been known to scream for at least 5 minutes straight even in the middle of the night. As you may have noticed, I caught this one on her own. That's because she screams at spiders while her neighbors and roommates are asleep. Now looky what we have here. This gorgeous specimen is genuinely happy. A real gem to find in its kind's age range. Whoa boy whoa. This one's got some confidence alright. And look at its gut. A true king here. I tell ya. A real chippy one this one. I am happy and I know that's not cool here. Please don't downvote too much, thank you. Oi. Avia, look at this beaut. This magnificent specimen spends way too much time watching The Office. Here we have a wild/you/Captain Broverdos. Once a Broverdos reaches sexual maturity, it engages in a mating ritual known as making mashups, resulting in Nickelback mixed with Mario Brothers and Vaporwave. Crikey! We got a big one. We've just caught a 220 pounds degenerate weeb from its habitat known as the bedroom. This fella eats instant noodles and rice only and sleeps with its figurines, Rem and Astolfo body pillows. When it do sleep, that is this kind of weeb with especially what's going on in the world. Can watch 3 seasons in a day and still have time to play games instead of finishing its homework. Welp Imo, let this beauty go back to its natural habitat now. Me. THX Steve.